Do you want to display some items, pictures, or anything within a grid pattern? Stay tuned and you can see how this is done. It is quick, it is simple and easy to do and requires no fusion. So let's jump right into it. If you want a completely different way to do this, procedural gridding, then wait to the end and see a different way of doing it. You might like that better. To achieve this, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go up to the Effects tab and we're going to bring down an adjustment clip. And in that adjustment clip, we're going to make this a duration of about 5 seconds. So we're just going to make that 5 seconds. Now we're going back up to the Effects tab and we're going to search all folders for grid. And we're going to drag that down to the adjustment clip. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the Inspector tab. And in the Inspector tab, we're going to go to the Effects, and we're going to have row cells and column. So we're going to go, in our case, we're just going to do a 4x6, and the major spacing, that just breaks it into quadrants. So it takes and divides that, so it'll be a quadrant of 2x3. So we're not going to use major line spacing. Now what we're going to do is we're going to be bringing our image down to the timeline, and when we do bring that down to the timeline, we're now going to go in and we're going to take and shift and move this to the center, to wherever it is that you want that image. And now we're just going to fill up the rest of this row with the other images. So we're just going to fill them in. And now what we're planning to do is we're going to take and we're going to make a keyframe on 0 on our first one. And remember, you can have any number that you want as far as your grid. You can have it a 20x12. You can make any amount that you want. So it depends on entirely up to your situation. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go down to the first image and we're going to put a keyframe right there. So only thing we're going to keyframe in this point is rotation. So we're going to keyframe the rotation on 0, and we're going to do that for the first one. And now we're going to move to the last frame and we're going to rotate that 360 degrees, and we're going to automatically create a keyframe there. So now when you play it, you can see that it actually rotates within that cell. Now that you have that set up, all you have to do basically is you have to right click and copy. And once you copy this cell, you copy in everything to it. So now we're going to skip every other one. So we're going to go up to track 3 or image 3, and we're going to right click and we're going to paste attributes. And once we do that, all we're going to paste is a rotation angle. We don't need any of the other, just the rotation angle, because that will apply our rotation angle to that one. And then just do the same thing to the next one. Right click, paste attributes, rotation angle only. So now when you play this back, you should have just those 3 rotating. Now we're going to fill in the last ones, and we're going to select line 2 or the image line 2, and we're going to put a keyframe right there on rotation. And now we're going to move to the end of the line and we're going to put another keyframe in the negative direction, and that automatically creates another keyframe. So what we're going to do now is we're going to highlight that one and copy it, and then we're going to go every other one, and then we're going to paste attribute, and all we're pasting is a rotation angle. So we're going to go there and attributes and go there. Now when we play this back, we have all of the images rotating, and from there all we have to do is just highlight all of the clips and copy all of those, and then we can just go over and we can just control V for pasting. And what we're going to do is make a little bit more space, and once we do, we're going to drag this up and we're going to bring it down to our timeline. What I usually do is I just would take and just stretch these all the way down so that you would be able to get more in here for spacing. So now what you have is you got 2 rows, but you don't see the second row. So with all of these still highlighted, we're just going to take and drag the position down. And once those are down, and now we push play, you can see everything is now rotating. Now to finish this up, all we got to do is just highlight all of our clips, right click and copy. Once we do that, we're going to now Control V and paste. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take and move these up to our timeline and make them seamless. Now if we move the playhead anywhere, you can see you still just have 2 rows. That's not a problem because we're just going to now go over to the Y and we're just going to drag that down, and now we have 4 rows. And now if you were to play this back, you will see that you have 4 rows and everything is spinning, and it's just spinning all in the same directions as what you had wanted and set it up in the rotation. If you want them to spin in different rotations, all you would have to do is just go in to that one and change the rotation at the end of the clip. At the second keyframe, you just change whatever rotation you want, and now when you play it, that one is going to be a different rotation than the rest. So you can change the rotation to be anything you want. You can pattern it, you can alternate it, you can do all that you want. And remember, you can make as many rows and columns as you want. This is a lot easier than going through Fusion and creating it all through Fusion unless you are doing something spectacular with each cell. To finish this off, all you have to do is now go back over to your inspector and go up to the effects. In here, you can change the line color to anything that you want. If you want it to blend all in, just change it to black, and there you have no lines at all. Again, you can change any color that you want in the properties. So that should take care of this, and this is your rotating tutorial of grid items. So let's say that you do want to have a different procedural grid. So what we can do is we can go into the Fusion composition. So go in and create a 10-second fusion. Go into the Fusion composition, add a background node. And in that background node, we're going to drop the alpha all the way down. We're going to hook the background to our media in. And now with our media in selected, we're going to decrease the size of it. If you find that you cannot decrease the size, so say you just do this and you see nothing is happening, you probably have the inputs here swapped. So what you can do is you can Control T, or you can right click and swap inputs. And now when you do that, you can actually decrease the size and you can actually move this wherever you want. So we're just going to take and move it to the corner. From there, we're going to create a duplicate node. And once we bring in our duplicate node, we're going to then create, let's say, 10 copies. And we're going to change the center, and we're just going to spread it out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to copy this duplicate node, Control C and Control V, and make it active in the window. What we're going to do is we're going to recenter all of this, and now we're going to change the Y. So now we have a grid pattern of shirts, and it's, kind of funky, but it's a grid pattern that you wanted to build in Fusion. So there is a lot easier way to do this and a little bit more control. So what we would do is we would get rid of all of the inputs that we just put in. Then what we'll do is we'll bring our background and media in together. That creates that merge node again. We're going to highlight it and make sure that you actually have the merge to where it actually is the correct inputs. What we're going to do is we're going to go over here to edges and we're going to select wrap. And now, as you can see, if you decrease the size of this, you have a very good grid of infinite amount of t-shirts. So this procedural grid will work endlessly. If you want to add spacing, you would just add a crop node after the media. So you would just put in the crop node and then you would just adjust the X and Y, and that would give you the spacing that you would want in between the objects that you have. So that's just another quick and simple way of doing it. It does not give you multiple images like we did in the first video, but it does give you a procedural grid of continuous items. So if you like this video, please subscribe and hope you enjoyed it. Have a nice day.